Hello everyone, we're back. It's Jess and JURT, or JURT and Jess in the evening. Tonight with our friend Trips, hhh81. No one calls him that out loud, or at least kind of like everyone calls me JURT. Anyway, how are you guys?
Gonna be this kind of podcast again, is it?
Yes.
Oh, this is. I'm already excited. I'm
This
already
is-
excited.
This is always going to be this kind of podcast.
Oh boy.
Practice that intro next time. You'll get it. You'll get it eventually.
Okay, well, we already did our introductions last time, so
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if
probably we only need to introduce you.
Sure.
Do you want to talk a little bit about yourself and your SHL history and?
Yeah. So I'm Trips, a.k.a. people call me a great many things. Been on the site since S44, where I started with the late great Cassius Darrow, defenseman on Colorado, who then went on to a long up and down career between Buffalo and Seattle in the SHL. I've done. It's easier for me to say what I haven't done on the site. I've been in head office, both of them, GM'd at both levels, been a awards guru at both the J and SHL levels, sliced, diced julienne fries. You name it, I've done it probably. But yeah, thrilled to be here.
yeah, we're
Yay.
very excited to have you. Obviously, we've been talking with you constantly for months
About this, yes.
about this and other stuff.
What? We never talk. It's not like we're in two different D&D groups together.
Yeah, exactly. We're the whole reason we're here is mostly because of that. I think pulling all of us and me and Jess closer together, and
I'm the happy third wheel.
and god damn it, the guy who do the thing in the fake wedding with
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, the officiant.
officiant. Thank you.
Yeah.
In the legend of Jean-Uhtred Soderbergh Tremblay and Gunnar Soderbergh Tremblay, I am also known as the lovable Philly asshole Johnny Hamilton, player agent, and GM to the Stars, who was brought in to officiate these two crazy kids' wedding, and it was incredible.
A good time.
When they asked me, I don't think they realized just how method I was gonna get.
True. He was over here like asking us to do speeches, and I was like, I did not write a speech, and so I had to just stop in the middle and go write something.
Which
I
is-
went
Dip out of
full
voice chat.
I went full roleplay, went in full speech, whole 9 yards, and people were like, "Wow."
I love that stuff too. I mean, anyone who knows
Yeah.
me knows that like the roleplay is why I'm here.
Right.
It's certainly not because I really enjoy FHM.
Anyone who says they enjoy FHM is lying to
There's
you.
some people who do. I think Flu does, and I don't understand it.
I think Goomba as well was.
I hate this game.
There's a lot of people who, and I mean I've enjoyed the FHM before getting too much into GMing, but once you know doing it for fun or to just help out when it's not it's not all your responsibility as a GM to deal with FHM and try to bring success to your team. Like it's not bad, but when you get into GMing and you realize this is most of my life now. If I want things to work, unless you manage to get like a great co-GM who basically just takes on that part. It's
I think that's one of the things that the really successful teams do have going for them that I don't know that people really think about. I don't think I think people underestimate the value of having just a team that contributes to that. So that's not just one person just slamming their head into the FHM wall for hours at a time. You know, they have a war room who can break that up and be like, okay, you just go test for the power play. And like the ability to divide that responsibility is something that I don't think a lot of people have access to, and I think it's something that's super underrated.
Agreed.
given that some people don't even have access to a co-GM. I just want to plug it for Trips right now. If anyone's interested, he's looking.
Yes, as current GM of the Baltimore platoon, I am currently hiring for a co-GM.
So if there's
disclaimer,
someone
talk to your
missed,
GM first before you apply.
Yes, disclaimer. If you are currently drafted to an SHL team, talk to your GM first, because I will not talk to you until I've gotten confirmation that your GM has okayed it.
I'm hiring a co-GM in PBE right now, and someone did message me and was like, I was like, did you get permission? And they were like, no, but they'd be fine with it. And I was like, no, that's not how we're doing this.
Anyway, did we get any questions?
We got so many.
We got a lot of questions. And I think it starts with Jay, who actually asked questions before we postpone the episode from last week because I
gotta
was
go find the questions thread
at my grandfather's funeral, so apologies to anyone who
Sorry
wanted
about
to
that.
see that last week, but things got in the way.
I need to find the questions thread because I've already lost it. It's in media, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
there
in the
it is.
media.
Okay.
I can.
Oh, no, that's the thread with the link.
You want me to send it to you?
I found it.
Okay, all right.
Don't worry.
I think it's very interesting that Jay is the first one who asked questions, because to me, well, I kind of feel on a not on a personal level, but on the SHL level at least, kind of a similar connection between me and Jay than there was between Trips and I at the beginning when I came back. What is it? Over 2 years ago already now.
Oh gosh, wow.
When I came back to the SHL after a short-lived and soon forgotten player in the summer of 2018, when I came back and almost didn't do anything after creating my player, and Trips just took a late pick drafting me to Colorado, and invited me anyways and helped me get back into it.
Boy, am I glad I did.
Yeah.
I am also glad you did. And then, giving me my first job on the SMJHL Awards Committee, all that.
And then later on, you went and drafted me to the J with my recreate.
And now, now I'm the one who drafted you to the J. And speaking about Jay, I think he might have gone the same way. Like, he created late just before the draft. I sent a random scouting message at 3 a.m. The night before the draft, and the draft was like at noon or something that season. So basically, not even 12 hours before the draft, he responded, and then I just told, I think it was already Jumbo and Ruggs at the time, GMing Colorado. I told them, well, this guy, we can take a chance on him. Couldn't hurt. Like, taking chances sometimes work.
Yeah.
And Jay is now co-GM in St. Louis, and doing other stuff. He's PT head now
I think
JPT head,
he's-
yeah.
in the J. So
I think he's PT grader. I don't think he's head.
He's something.
think he's
No,
I think he's head now.
Oh, okay.
We'd have to look into that.
it's very new though.
Oh, then I may have missed it. If so, congrats.
But you know,
Maybe one of our one viewers can tell us.
you know, anyways, that was a very long way to say that I think it's not ironic, but like in a good kind of way, it's symbolic that Jay is asking the first question. Anyways,
Wow, that was.
I spent way too
You know
long.
how to like. No, it's fine. You know how to like get those numbers up for the podcast.
This group does not need to
They
pad
don't
on
need it.
whatsoever.
Thanks, Rugs, saying he's head now. Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh, great. Cool.
So congratulations, Jay. And now here's your question. For all three of us, which team has the best branding, both SHL and SMJHL? Who wants to go first?
Oh, this is tough.
I do not.
I can tell you which one does not have.
No, that's mean.
Okay.
We're not using this to dunk on people.
Okay,
But I wanna.
No.
We're gonna
No.
keep that to ourselves then. Best branding. Let me take another look.
I
Trying-
have my opinion.
trying to be as objective.
I still think QCC's logo is
Yeah,
incredible,
I think
and I love their branding.
I think that was what at least for the J. Obviously, I have a lot of like I see the Raptors, I see the elk logo, and I feel like a stronger connection. But the QCC logo, and being from Quebec myself, just Citadel is just such a cool name for the team. Yeah, I think I'd go with QCC as well for the J for sure. Jess, do you have any opinion?
I'm gonna be contrary and say it's the Newfoundland Berserkers.
Really
That is contrary.
interesting.
No, I mean I've had like I've talked to Corey some about why they chose that branding and everything, and I really like the amount of thought and just overall consideration that went into it, and I really like it. I like the way it turned out. I think it's colors that have done really well that you don't think of as being particularly inspirational colors. Yeah.
Well,
I made Corey a sig for his new player, and I was like, you know, I actually enjoy working with these colors, and you wouldn't think, like, you don't think, oh boy, red and gray, how fun. But I had a lot of fun making that sig, so. I do not like their third jerseys, though. Those are offensive to my eyes. Just too much
As
red.
someone who grew up hating Ohio State and the University of Louisville, red, black, and gray is not cool.
Oh, okay. So there's external influences
Well, also,
here.
I think the home jersey's way too dark. That's just like
Well, I don't.
jerseys.
I mean, are we talking about the jerseys, or are we just talking about the straight branding?
I mean, jersey's part of the
It's part
branding, in
of
my
the-
opinion.
I guess so. I just think some people have been able to and had the resources to put more work into the actual jersey
Oh, sure.
than others.
but again, if we're talking jerseys, the QCC jersey with the vertical stripe in the center,
I made a sig with those. Giant pain in the ass.
yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was
Yeah, that
doing
was
my
nice.
little series about inputting SHL players into the Chell games on PlayStation, I was like, well, I can't do QCC because there's no template that even remotely resembles what they have for a jersey.
Made Hannah a sig, and I was like, never again. Absolutely never again.
And I think I want to mention the Aurora. That's a That's a
I do
terrible. That's a
too.
terrible word for someone with a French accent. Uh,
I know Trips hates the Aurora branding, but it's legitimately my favorite.
uh, yeah,
I don't hate LAP either. Those colors are fun together.
I like LAP's logo. One I actually will put in here is one of my favorites. I really, really like Philadelphia's Shield jersey. I don't like the word mark one.
They changed it. They changed it to that's their primary now.
Yes.
And
There
I
you
like
go.
it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like the P that's also a hammer.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that's slick.
I think it's very, very fun. And I like that their alternate. I'm looking at it right now. I like that their ultimate. It's a lot classier than the hideous 70s Vancouver V jerseys, but it has that same sort of deal.
Oh my god, these jerseys in
But yeah,
Vancouver. Um,
there aren't a lot of logos that I absolutely love.
so
It's fine.
yeah, but the Aurora again with the
I love it. I love the
Aurora on the
concept.
jersey, like you see the colors.
Yeah, the fade at the bottom.
Yeah,
It's real nice. Impossible to do in a jersey swap, but
yeah. I think most of the cool jerseys would be hard to do in a jersey swap because of those cool elements.
yeah. I mean, I love it because whenever we had back in the day when Winnipeg was still the Jets, we had like anytime we would get asked about like where would your expansion team or whatever, I always said that I was gonna have a team called the Aurora back in Gunner's hometown in Sweden because that's like way up north and the Aurora are up there as well. So I was gonna be the Lileo Aurora, but. And then these were like the exact colors I envisioned for that as well. And so when they announced it, I was like, yo, did they just take this idea right out of my brain? How is this like exactly perfectly what I was thinking of? So, love it. Just some of the most fun colors to work with. It's hard to like do anything terribly wrong to make them clash because they all just go together so nicely. We also have cute little mascot emoji in Winnipeg now, which I love. Our little polar bear. It's very cute.
Shout out to the Argo gang. I boats give a +4 to intimidation.
Terrified of the eye boat. Terrified.
The best kind of boat.
Yes.
It's so scary.
It's so good.
I look at that and I'm like, oh, why is it looking at me?
It's a mimic. It's a mimic.
No!
No one the first time I've made that.
I hate it.
It's a mimic.
A whole boat that's a mimic is terrifying. Like
I
everyone
hate it.
gets on board, you're in the middle of the sea, and suddenly you're on a giant mimic.
No.
Oh, no.
So you can jump into the earth or the ocean, or can
am-
mimics just
I know what's happening in my
No.
blue shot.
no?
I absolutely am going to put this in the Ghost of Saltmarsh campaign at some point.
hate it.
Wait, I love
Hate it.
that. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna be like in the marshiest area possible, and I'm not gonna trust a single boat because you said that. I'm just gonna be like, no, we have to just. We're just gonna slog through this. Absolutely no boats. I refuse.
Suddenly,
Unless I build the boat with my own two hands. And even then, how do you know a log is not a mimic?
suddenly, Estuary is afraid of boats.
Just suddenly. Yep.
Just suddenly. I mean, it
I
could
have
also
boat-
make sense that she's once been on a boat with Orius and he put everything on fire on the boat.
Project Saint says technically a home could be a mimic. No.
Holy sh!
Why are you guys doing this to me?
Oh, Corey's here in the chat.
Oh,
I don't know if Corey
Mm,
heard us
I
talk
was.
about him earlier and his branding.
I will say, and I know Corey has his own opinions about the Chicago black and gold, and we've talked about how much we hate that it ends up looking like Boston colors when you don't do it in the right proportions. But I will say that playing in Chicago and making graphics with those colors for a while definitely made me like them a lot more than I ever thought I would. I do like the secondary logo better, though, the round one, than the guy with the hat.
I love the guy with the hat.
What's our next question?
That's I think we'll move on. It's Jay again. What do you guys think about white chocolate?
Love it. Love
it's okay.
it.
It's okay.
I will eat anything dipped in white chocolate.
But okay. The cookies and cream Hershey's bar is disgusting.
No, it is not. That is one of my favorite things.
It's
Jeff, no.
okay.
Yes, it's so good.
Oh gosh, it's cloyingly sweet. It doesn't do it for me. And I love like cookies and cream, and that doesn't do it for me. All right, there we go.
That's white chocolate.
Not all of these are going to be big long discussions.
If you were all stuck, if we were all stuck on an island with nothing to do, who would get bored first? And I don't know that.
I don't think we would get bored. I think we would just play D&D.
Yeah, I think
we would just be on the island playing D&D.
As long as we have, as long as we still have our minds sharp enough to play some kind of role-playing game. Like, we have nothing to do, so I'm assuming we don't have the books or the dice, but we're always going to be able to find a way to turn, like, a few sticks or rocks into randomizer elements. And
we'll figure it out,
you can make a coin to flip. Yeah, it's not hard.
At that point, if I thought that the likelihood of us getting off the island alive was small, I would tell Jess and Jurt every single detail of what I've thought up for our campaign.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Get all of the things, which means
we got all the spoilers before we die.
Yes, because I was like, I want you to know all of the work I've been doing behind the scenes for you all. Because I have a lot of really cool ideas. I just don't know if they're going to happen, and that's okay.
I'm wondering though, are we all stuck on an island because we were on a mimic ship,
probably,
and we had to kill it, and then we washed up on an island?
We had to jump.
I feel like I would probably be the tastiest to a mimic, so I think it's more likely you two make it to.
Trips is going to sacrifice himself.
But
I don't want to, but I feel like inevitably that's what's going to end up happening.
But then we don't get all the spoilers.
You're right.
Yeah. I have to die to get the D&D spoilers. That seems
that's rough.
Like quite a sacrifice. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. Well, no, you see, maybe there'll be a session, like, if we ever come to the end of the campaign in a natural way, I'll give a session after the campaign to talk about all the things I planned that didn't end up happening.
Nice. Hopefully...
You already just made a decision that was not what I was hoping you'd do, so I spent the weekend replanning some stuff.
That's how D&D works.
Exactly, that's how it goes. Gave you 3 options, and you chose the one that I did not expect you would pick.
That's... Never expect anything, because I'm always gonna do the other thing. I am an agent of chaos.
A chaos Muppet playing an order Muppet.
A what?
A chaos Muppet playing an order Muppet. I think Oris, at his core, is an orderly person, other than the love of fire. You are a chaos Muppet. You just want to see make everything burn. I say that staring directly at one Mr. Thunderbones, new character in Jess's campaign.
What did Thunderbones burn?
Nothing. Just
okay.
Anyway.
Well, we'll have other D&D questions later, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So moving on, still Jay asking our favorite emotes on Discord, Raptors or just at large.
Cool. I answered this question and pinned it the other day. Cool. The most used, I have the laughing like the rolling laughing emoji, the 100%, the grimacing emoji, and my favorite when I'm tormenting my D&D players, the smiling imp emoji.
That's a good one.
I think the ones I use most are the Keck, Dodge Keck, and Keck W, Pepe Hype, and Pepe Hands. But my favorite is from the Mikul fan club server. At least that's where I get it, and it's the spanking one. The spanking GIF one.
I'm not familiar with that one, and I don't need to see it.
It's
I take your word for it.
It's not safe for work.
Yeah, I don't need to see it. I'm good. What about you, Jess?
It really does depend on context. Raptors, Discord, or in general. So, I mean, the ones that I use the most are, I think everyone knows at this point. I use the dead emoji quite a lot.
You sure do.
What else? I like the Keck guy, but he's like going up and down, like hey 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 hey.
You use poggers a good bit.
I do.
Right.
I like that because it conveys my general excitement. I especially like the one that's just like going in a row, like zooming across the screen. It's a lot of fun. I do use those a lot.
I think we all use the eyes emoji a lot.
We do.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's always some juicy gossip, and the only response to that is eyes.
So that's
Dead.
Dead too. By the way, Jess, my nitro is dead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why you're telling me.
Corey says Jess's fave is dead.
It is.
Yeah,
He's right.
that makes sense.
I use that one so much. It really does reflect my general state of mind most of the time.
Cool.
Maybe we can address Project Saint's suggestion right now in the chat.
Okay.
Trips to the soccer league when?
Never, probably.
Oh, sad.
Oh, sad.
I'm trying to step back from sim leagues.
Oh. Rex is making fun of how you pronounce nitro.
Hey, Rugsy, disappear for an hour to go get dinner and then come back and no one's there.
I honestly had never heard anyone say nitro in English, so I just went with my best guess. I only know the French one, which is nitro, but that.
You say whatever works for you, bud.
Rugsy's bullying me though.
It's funny. It's fine. I bullied him back.
And one last question from Jay, only for trips, because I think Jess and I already answered it 2 weeks ago with Corey. Your best and or worst moves as GMs.
Alrighty, we're gonna start with the best move. Yes, the easy cop-out answer would be saying drafting JURT in like the 6th round, which of course, that was a great pick, my last pick as a JGM. But I need to talk about the time that I bent the Anaheim Outlaws over the fence and spanked them repeatedly.
Oh boy.
So, flashback to S50, I believe. Colorado did a bad job. Did a bad job in S49. So I ended up with the 3rd overall pick, and I didn't particularly like anyone in the draft, so I wanted to trade back or see what would happen. And I got involved in a little bit of a bidding war between the Carolina Kraken under Fuzz in those days, and B. Danini and Gibbles in Anaheim. They both really wanted 3rd overall. And I got a classic bidding war going on where they kept topping each other to the point that for the 3rd overall pick in the S50J draft, I got Anthony Archer, a semi-active 425 player where Anaheim retained his salary, an S50 3rd overall, or 3rd round pick, so 28th pick in that draft, S51 3rd, an S52 first, which happened to be a Reddit, as well as a Reddit 5th. Anaheim went along to draft John Forfeit, 3rd overall. Go look up John Forfeit. He had a very, very bad career. Not a great player. The problem is, the flip side of this trade, that trade's great. What I did with those picks, not so hot. That S52 first rounder in a Reddit draft was 3rd overall. And some of you may remember, S52 was the Reddit draft where the Detroit Falcons, a.k.a. TIG, could see the Matrix, and they drafted just an incredible thing. I had 1st and 3rd overall and botched the snap. Botched it so hard. It was a very bad draft for me at the time. I stand by my 1st overall pick, the illustrious Chris Cirillo of Russian Machine Never Breaks.
Mm-hmm.
If I can go back in time, I'd make that pick again. But the pick that I beat myself up about is 3rd overall, where I was between 2 players. I was considering there. Hiroshi Ohira, Finetails, great guy. My mentor as a GM, the person who drafted me, Alaska, said he really liked Hiroshi Ohira, was really into it. Or Ifino Edward Williams. I was between those 2 players. I drafted Hiroshi Ohira. And the rest is history.
I remember O'Hara from the time in Colorado.
He was a nice guy. He just was not worth the 3rd overall pick in a draft where the rest of the first... This is the first round in order from that draft. Chris Cirillo. Magnus Liljestrom? I don't know.
Rose?
What?
Rose?
Yeah, Rose Puff. Yoshi Hero, Steve Harrington, a.k.a. Lime, Valentin Kalashnikov, Jimmy Wagner, William Hartman, Axel Mazaros, Rocco Burney, Danny White. It hurts.
Yeah, that's a good...
That draft wasn't all bad, though. In the 4th round, I got Sven Svensson, a.k.a. Birdman. A.k.a. the person who took over... Oh, wait, you know what? A.k.a. the person who took over for me as Colorado GM. There was nobody who was a GM for the 2 seasons in between. Actually, that's what I was going to talk about. My real worst decision as GM was endorsing No Name to replace me because he didn't do the job before, so I don't know why I thought he could be a head GM effectively.
Well... Rip.
Let's move on.
He's
courting controversy.
Oh boy.
And Corey rubbing it in the chat.
It's fine. I didn't want Lime. His vibe just did not fit in Colorado, so I'm glad he found a home in Newfoundland and then Buffalo, and he's had a good time.
All right.
There was no way I was taking Lime.
Next question, I guess, is from Trips.
Trips.
Oh shoot! I did submit questions. I don't know what these questions are, so this is gonna be fun.
Do you want to ask them yourselves? Do you have them pulled up?
No, don't remember what the questions are, so I don't have them pulled up.
All
But
right.
I can pull them.
So you ask, what is the most insane D&D character you have made but never got to play?
Oh, I have a good answer for this.
I'm
first.
I'm expecting you do.
Do you all want me to go first, or do you want to?
I think I'm gonna go first because it's gonna be very boring. Because before playing in both of your games, I was a forever DM. I started a few games as players. One was a halfling barbarian. One was a halfling bard. And both of them are now Thunderbones. When I combined them, and most of those were like one shots, or like we played 2 or 3 sessions and then it flamed out. And the other two were Circle of the Moon druid who was obsessed with plants and animals and could not care at all about other people, and one was a cleric. Light cleric, so lots of fire involved, and those are now combined into Oris, who's a druid,
Wildfire
circle
druid.
of the wildfire. So that's I guess I have 2 types: very angry little man and old guy who wants to set everything on fire.
Love it.
So no, I have not made any insane character.
I have.
What you?
Jess, would you like to go next?
Sure. Most insane D&D character I made but never got to play. I don't know. I don't really make insane D&D characters. I make ones that I think that I will have fun role playing. That I think I can get into their heads.
Right.
So like making up something crazy just to be crazy is not really my style unless I'm doing like a one shot. I did have fun in a one shot playing I made a cleric of the Morning Lord who was entirely based on Brandon Flowers. And I made it my mission to just throw in as many Killer's lyrical references as I possibly could in this story. This guy's name was Nevada Starmaker.
I love that. Oh my god, that's incredible.
And yeah, he just walked around telling. So the fun thing was, he was not my original character. We were playing some dungeon, and everyone got killed. Like, we had a TPK like in our first session because we were all level 1 characters and we fell into a pit with some giant rats, and that was all she wrote. So I forget what, I think the first version of this character was supposed to be some other class. I can't even remember what. But I had put so much time and effort into it. I was like, okay, well, now I am playing his twin brother. And his name is slightly different, and he's a cleric now instead of whatever other thing. His backstory was like exactly the same. So that was fun. That's probably the least seriously I've ever taken a D&D character, because when I get into it, like, I get really into it, and I want to be able to like tell a story with the character, not just like, you know, like, I can't connect to it if I'm just being silly.
Right.
Trips,
I think
go ahead.
I think the silliest I've ever gotten to play was for my buddy's bachelor party. We did a wedding-themed one-shot where me and my buddy from high school were playing a pair of dudes whose power came, like, he played a warlock and I played a paladin, and my power came from my devotion to my friend. Like, we were just like best friends, like ultimate bros, and I was his patron as a warlock, so we were just that close. And there was Throd the Bod, just the most himbo-y, like, celestial paladin ever. But that's not my answer here. I spend a lot of time just randomly getting bored and creating ridiculous characters. The latest is the one I'm going to share. So this is a custom lineage because we don't have a bullywug race, but it's a bullywug, so it's a fan person. Bard Fiend Warlock multiclass. His patron is a female Nefashni, which is a pig demon, who wants to be a star.
God.
So she makes him sing her praises all across the land. His go-to damage dealing spells are Chromatic Orb, Color Spray, Prismatic Spray, but he's all about helping take care of other people and like bring happiness into the world.
Aww.
Sure, do you get the joke? It sounded like you knew exactly where I'm going.
What, he's just the gayest character ever?
No, it's Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog.
Oh my god. I just heard rainbows and he's very happy and I'm like, is this you doing a tongue-in-cheek gay joke here, Trips?
No. This is Kermit the Frog.
It's Kermit the Frog.
Incredible.
Big demon.
Oh my god.
It's so
Beautiful.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm
I mean, actually built that character, but the concept is just too good.
I really do enjoy this. The just unlimited rainbow.
well,
Exactly.
I guess someone's gonna have to start a new D&D campaign soon to get that character in.
I don't know if I want to play it, I just love the idea. I do have another character I do want to play. An Arcane Trickster, Armor Artificer multiclass.
Mm-hmm.
It works in its fun.
You have a lot of multi-class ideas. I never get that deep into my characters, like thinking about what classes would go well. But
I like putting the mechanics together. It's like a big fun puzzle. And I make sure that the mechanics follow the story and the narrative. But yeah, I definitely think I'm the most power buildy of the three of us.
Yeah.
that's probably right.
But I also try to tie it back to story. Like, I don't just do it for the sake of doing it.
Corey, I hope you get to play your Peter Pan character.
That sounds super fun.
I hope we can get Corey and Trips at some point playing both Kermit and Peter Pan, going on random adventures.
I actually think it would be a really fun one-shot idea. I don't want to DM this, by the way. But I think it'd be a really fun one-shot to do sort of like fractured Disney stories, like Disney characters, but a little off. And so we could pull in Peter Pan.
I gotta tell you, my first, like, the place where I got, like I made my internet friends that I still talk to now, like 12, 13 years later, was on a forum roleplay where it was a school and all of the students and teachers were some interpretation of a fairy tale character, which was really fun. It was fun. Like, I played Milo Thatch from Atlantis.
Nice.
He was a fun one.
I see a trend in the people you like to roleplay, Jess.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's a lot of dorky dudes.
Yes,
Nothing wrong with that.
No, you're absolutely right. There was him. I'm trying to think who else that I had there. I had Sunny Baudelaire from A Series of Unfortunate Events, but she was like aged up, but she still only talked one word at a time. So that was fun.
Did she still bite everything?
Yes, she still chewed on things.
Respect.
She was really into dinosaurs.
That tracks.
Oh, I played Dracula. That was really fun. I really enjoy playing villains. I don't know if that's that might not, with how I'm fully like paladin cleric nonsense, how much I enjoy playing villains may not be immediately apparent, but I really love that.
Well, I mean, I also enjoy a good villain. The game you are playing in, one of the NPCs that you all haven't met yet, and I hope you all don't have to meet, I specifically created for my first ever D&D group, because I thought, alright, I need to create a character that they won't fuck with, because if they do, he will kill them in like one round.
Oh boy.
So I built a very, very powerful, lawful evil paladin.
I'm scared.
I'm not.
I mean, right now you all could take him down, though he would call in his soldiers, and then it wouldn't be so much of a like you all right now as a party probably could take down this level 12 character, but I still wouldn't want that for you all.
No.
But yes, but you all that's not true. You all have. You might not have any NPCs of mine that you love, but you certainly have a couple you despise.
Yes.
The creepy dude.
True.
Lloyd the Zeme.
Yeah.
That freaking dude.
Oh,
We
yeah.
hate that dude.
The
He's so gross.
Zeme nuts.
Yes, cool. Did I ask any other questions?
Yes, you had one
Oh
other.
shit, yes. Oh fuck.
The other one is we get an SHL beach house or mountain cabin to make trips happy.
I like sand.
It's coarse and rough and irritating.
Yes,
And
it gets everywhere. Exactly.
Other than us, who would be the 4 other people we let join us? And I hate this
Yes.
question because
So Rick, we each get to pick one person, and then we have to come to a consensus on the last person.
Okay.
I think a lot of it is gonna depend on who's the first one of us to pick. Because let's if Jess is
I'm picking Corey.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Jess is picking Corey, I'm probably not gonna go with someone else who has nothing to do whatsoever with Corey.
I have one that I'd like to put in for mine, and then I have a suggestion for the one we agree upon.
Mm-hmm.
I volunteer Tig because, again, putting Tig, Corey, and I in the same place is just asking for insane trouble, and I'm so ready for it.
Yeah.
7.
7's a good mutual connection.
Yes, I think 7 would be a great one.
So I need to figure out one person that would prevent all this from blowing up.
Larry, get him away from this kid.
Oh my god, that's a tough one.
Bring Gordo.
Nobody
can be mad when Gordo's around.
I was thinking Gordo or maybe Ruggs, like someone who's always very wholesome. I think
Ruggs would be a lot of fun on a vacation.
I think Ruggs would be a lot of fun.
What? No one wants Esso in this house? I don't think Esso would come out.
I don't feel like I know Esso well enough to pick him as my person, but I wouldn't disagree with him being the mutual connection.
Yeah.
I think I'd still overall I'd go with Ruggsy.
Okay, cool. Oh gosh. So pretty much everyone we just picked has been a GM of some kind.
Yes.
GM, SHL or SHA. Yes.
GM retreat.
Yes, a GM retreat. Oh my gosh.
And most of those are people we play D&D with, or we would like to. Like Corey is. We don't play with Corey, but he's in at least one of those servers, and Tig is in the other one.
Corey is just someone that I have hung out with in person and know that I could hang out with on a vacation.
Yeah. Tig currently DMs for Corey in the ill-fated Oops All GMs game. That I helped facilitate.
So yeah, I guess
that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
I guess that's. I mean, there's more
There's a lot of people that I wouldn't say no to having around.
Yeah,
there's a lot of great options.
There's so many people that, and some people that I just Gordo. I think wouldn't know that well. Corey and Seven and Tig, so I thought, I went with Rugsy instead, but so many other people that either play D&D with us or people from the wedding / Gunner home server. I'd love to know and see how Tesla is in real life, because
this was delightful.
Because it's always the most wholesome and funny things, and we never.
Tesla's wholesome and funny, but she can also just be delightfully snarky, and I love that about her.
And we never heard her voice ever, I think, in any voice chat. Like when we do games, she's just in there and muted and types whatever she wants to say. So I'd be very curious to have someone like that in one of those SHL vacations.
We don't know anything. So we just show up and Tesla is there, but none of us know that it's Tesla.
That'd be funny.
And the whole time we're just like, this person's cool. And then at the end of the week we find out who they are.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
The one. Yeah. Throw everyone in a house and then we have to figure out who is which person by the end of the week.
I think SHL Big Brother is the worst idea we could ever think of.
Oh,
so bad.
But also so good.
Yeah.
Because you see, even a couple seasons ago, there's a version of that where you choose any of the loudest, angriest people from Buffalo in the same house as Mike Izzy and just watch. Just the house gets set on fire.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Although you could put me too. Anyway.
Oh boy.
I
don't know which idea Corey is talking about. He says he loves that idea, but we're on a delay, so I'm not sure which one.
He's talking about SHL Big Brother. I know that for sure.
No, he just added to let us know that this is indeed what he was talking about.
Oh my gosh. Each SHL team nominates one person to go into the Big Brother house. The problem is Tampa's going to pick Fitted.
God.
That's I don't see that as a problem. I see that as good television.
That's true. Ratings would be great.
You know what would be funny? If in real life Drokeep is the most well-spoken person, he's just absolutely illiterate in text. That poor man can't type to save his life.
I think Drokeep just has giant thumbs and at some point has decided to just say fuck it and let us all figure out what he means.
I mean, I don't think I would be any better if I didn't have autocorrect, for being honest, on my phone.
Respect. I have autocorrect in my... Sometimes I have weird stuff come out.
Yep. Same.
Cool.
I have my French autocorrect that someone turns things into turns hay bales into gay bales.
Gay bales.
What's our next question? And are we going to skip the one that's going to catch this thing on fire?
Okay.
Are we gonna we're skipping the one that is gonna make you and Patty fight. We'll save that one to the end.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure.
Because I have zero opinions about Midwestern states whatsoever.
I have plenty of opinions about Midwestern states.
I'm not even sure what qualifies as a Midwestern state. So.
It's funny you say that. There's actually a lot of debate and discussion about what does and doesn't constitute a Midwestern state. But that doesn't make for good radio, so we should move on.
So we have Blitz, who's asking us each one question.
All right.
Actually, I think this one comes back as a question. He asked Jess thoughts on FHM 8, but I think that comes back, next person is a.k.a. asking us about FHM8, so I think we're just gonna skip the part where we're only asking Jess that, and also asking Jess, why is this weekend's Aurora game night going to be the best so far?
Let's go with, because I'm gonna be drunker than I have been for any of the past Aurora game nights. We'll just predict that. That's why it's gonna be better. Because I'm gonna be messy.
Okay. Be right back. Asking for a trade to the Aurora right now.
I cannot comment on this for legal reasons.
I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I'm in QCC game night sometime, even if I've never played for the team. So I don't know if that's something you guys do. But I always love to see Jess drunk. That's all I'm going to say.
Friends in there. I can ask Ace if he's not still in the chat. We're down to 3 people in the chat now, so we're boring our audience.
Now maybe we talked about D&D instead of the SHL too long. I don't know. I don't care. Blitz is asking me, Finland just took IRL gold. What might this imply for SHL Finland? And which has the better roster? That's
Finland, real Finland, or SHL Finland?
The fact that real Finland...
I'm gonna, as if you know anything about real Finland's roster.
Well, I know some things. I honestly didn't pay attention enough. I'd have to figure out who is eliminated or not to play for that team. But, I know Finland players in general are pretty solid. I'm not gonna...
Imagine if our IIHF only allowed you to use people that were not in the playoffs in the SHL. What a nightmare that would be.
That would be very...
So I talked,
we have barely enough players, I think, to feel, especially given that you couldn't even go in the J to get actives, because basically everyone or almost everyone makes the playoff in the J.
Right.
We talked about incorporating that for roster selections in Sweden, because for a bit there we had a bit of a logjam, and had to make hard roster decision choices and everything that some people still hate me for irrationally, even though it was a situation that I was handed.
Don't at her.
I'm not angsty about that at all. I'm not still bitter about the way people act.
I'm angsty on your behalf.
No, that was just frustrating because I asked the locker room repeatedly, guys, I want your opinions on how we make these choices, and it was just crickets. And then I made the choices, and people were like, "Well, this sucks." So, but we've worked through that. I think the regression changes aged out a bunch of our core a lot faster than originally might have happened. But for a minute there, we were talking about one of the things we were maybe going to factor in was picking people whose SHL teams had already been eliminated and giving them priority in roster selection, so they had something to focus on if their team wasn't in the playoffs.
It's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. In Finland, we've always been running pretty much on we have very good players, but always just on you go 1 or 2 players deeper in the depth chart and you just get inactives. So selections have been pretty easy for Carpi and I lately, but
you just got a new Finland.
What?
You just got a new Finland.
Ugh.
What?
Yeah, and so to finish on that, I think hopefully this is gonna bring more people in the SHL for Finland. The fact that they just won gold in real life, but if it doesn't, well, we have Rashford bringing people in and annoying me into getting those transfers done. But that's a good thing, and the better I think it's pretty much comparable. Like, we have a good roster. We don't have first liners, like top 6 players all across from the SHL top 6 all across our roster, but we have pretty solid depth. And I think that's it. I'm gonna go with the next question, which is for Trips. Have you watched any cool shows lately? And if I wanted to start watching Dimension 20, where would you recommend starting?
Excellent. I have notes. I'm going to skip the first part of the question because I really want to talk about the second part. If you want to start watching Dimension 20, everyone should. It is my favorite actual play D&D podcast. There's a couple different ways you can go into this. If you don't want to spend money, like D&D, want to see some things subverted, I think the best place to start is Fantasy High. It's their first campaign. Imagine a D&D campaign that happens in a John Hughes 80s movie. It's incredible. I love it. Funny, heart-wrenching, and there's a lot of additional seasons that spin off of that. Fantasy High is great. If you already have Dropout, the College Humor streaming service, or you'd be open to it because you think College Humor people are cool, there's 2 other options I would have you consider. If you're brand new to TTRPGs, love College Humor, open to a smaller commitment, you're not looking to go into something that's going to be like 20 episodes long, loved Harry Potter, but hate the racist, transphobic shit that comes out of J.K. Rowling's mouth, and you want to see some of those tropes flipped on their head, Misfits and Magic is 4 episodes long. It's hilarious, fun, takes that magical school trope and flips some of those things on its head. It's great, wonderful time. If you want, by far, the best goddamn grimdark, epic fantasy TTRPG experience you've ever had, A Crown of Candy is the greatest piece of D&D media I have ever seen.
That was
Game of Thrones in Candyland.
that was very comprehensive.
I may have taken notes ahead of time because I saw that question. I'm like, yes.
That was a monologue. I was like, he prepared for this.
I sure did.
Not someone who's reading this question for the first time.
I'm not so. Well, I saw it and I was like, okay, I got to think about this question because it's a very exciting one for me.
I'm probably going to have you send me whatever you took notes because I did not record everything that
That's
you just
fine.
said in my head. But I'm
That's okay.
interested
I'm
in
happy.
reading more about that and eventually maybe listening to those. But I always have a hard time because when I want to listen to something like that in English, I have to be way more focused than when I'm listening to another podcast in French or anything.
Well, here's the good news. All of those podcasts are video on demand, so you could watch it.
Yeah, but then...
And I'm currently checking to see what... they may have French subtitles.
Well, the French subtitles would not be necessary, but it's just, yeah, I'd have to sit and watch it. I can't just like throw them on while I'm doing dishes or stuff like that. So, but great preparation, Trips. I cannot say that I'm surprised. Moving on with ACAP's questions. To Jess and I, ACAP wants us to tell he's doing a good job. Thoughts on
That's not the question.
It's thoughts on the J free agent waiver system so far this season. That's not exactly the question, but that's basically what the way I interpret it.
I think it's working great so far.
I think it's working.
I think it's a clear improvement on the nonsense that we had before.
Yes, for sure. I think it's good. It's 100 times better than the absolute chaos and madness and overall unfairness of the previous system. I do like the improvement that the improvement idea that 7 suggested, that every player, like there's a set time each day, players creating in the past 24 hours
get approved,
and you can claim them in whatever order you like. So first team gets his first pick, and then
priority
like that. Because
I think that's a fairly easy tweak, though.
That's
would improve quality of life.
That would improve it. I think it's easy, and because I have that situation right now. Actually, there's 2 players, and the second one to be approved would probably be a better fit, at least in the roster for my team. Personality wise, that might be different, but like I'd need a defenseman more than a goalie, but most people probably do as well.
Most people
do. Do I get the goalie as a backup right now, and I have a better chance, but then I move back to the end of the order, and trade deadline's coming soon, and it's gonna be DFAs, so that's the end of it for me? Or do I take that chance to get the defenseman, which would be much better long term to add a defenseman right now? So I think it would kind of fix that kind of thing. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, and there's been other situations like that this season. And then there's another, there's a few things like the 2 players I think that created and retired almost immediately after. That's something that could happen with the previous free agent system as well, but in that case you didn't lose any priority, so it's something maybe that could be reflected upon, if you claim someone and they just retire, do you get back a few spots, or do you go back to where you were, or something like that? I haven't thought of it a lot, but just thinking about 7, who picked No Name on waivers, and then No Name decided that he wanted to be part of the next draft class instead. And then 7 was like, I think he picked him at 9 or 10 in the order from the start, so it's not that bad. But if he had been number 1, you take that guy, move to the back, and then he decides, it's a bit shitty.
That hurts.
No Name hurts. And so yeah, but overall a great improvement, and remind me to figure out who to claim after that podcast, Jess.
Okay.
And for all of us, thoughts on the change to FHM8?
I mean, I'm optimistic about it. I will say, from an HO perspective, I came in after basically all the work was already done on that. They had already done all of the the research and everything into it. It was just a matter of figuring out when to actually unveil it and say it was happening and pull the trigger. I'm optimistic about it.
Because it was not discussed even once when I was in HL. So I guess people were working on it behind the scenes. And
yeah. I mean, it's tough. We have people who will... I'm not gonna... We'll just,
I know that people have been thinking about and talking about it for a long, long, long time.
Yep.
It's overdue.
It is. It absolutely is. But also,
was-
I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, we don't want to do this. It was just like there was just a metric
There's a lot
assload
of
of work
factors.
behind the screen, behind the scenes, like index work and actual dev work to make it so that, we can still have the index quality that we're used to. We can still have the presentation of information that we're used to, and we're not just jumping into this thing with no way to really continue with the quality of presentation we've been accustomed to. So a lot of that was that, not just, hey, does this work?
Yep.
It was, figuring out what to do with the outputs and getting it to a point where it works the way that we're used to our index working.
You want a Trips hot take?
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing that in my mind, if it can do that, anything else is worth it. If they can give us game-by-game outputs in the index where I can actually see what happened in a game, everything else will be worth it.
Mm.
My God, I miss
know.
that. I miss that from STA.
I mean,
that's one of the few
yeah.
things I missed from Simon T. was we could actually go back and see what happened in an individual game.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking screenshots and posting
Screenshots,
them is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I still got to do that for Nevada for tonight.
Yeah, I have a few days to catch up on as well because I was not around.
Yeah, this weekend it wasn't happening.
But yeah. Excited to see what happens.
I'm
I'm still not going to learn FHM8.
I feel like I barely know FHM6, so I hope it's not. I don't know. I just don't. They were talking in Chicago the other day about just the game and who enjoys the game. And I was like, I have zero interest in the franchise management aspect of this game. Like, the only reason I enjoyed that aspect of it at all is because I get to manage real people and, have them enjoy being on my team. I have zero desire to just play this game where it's just a bunch of pixels that I have no emotional connection to and just, like, trying to run a hockey team. That's, like, does not appeal to me at all.
Give everyone a max attributes coach and don't give anyone the access to the file and let it run auto lines.
Everything, just everyone is.
Everything is automatic. That's my take on it. You're a GM, you're not a coach. The coach is
everyone max attributes. So players are not different at all.
What? No, the players, you build your players the way you want, but the coach, like,
you said just give them back. Okay.
No,
I was like, everyone has 20s and everything.
No, but the coach, like, in the game, you also have coach characters, right? Like the assistant and whatever. So you put that thing, that coach, maxed out in every coaching attribute, and the players keep.
I have to get rid of that Coach of the Year award, huh?
Probably. Yeah. That's probably what would happen. Yeah.
Which bot coach do we want to vote for this season?
All right. I think we've already been doing this for a while, so I'm gonna move on to the other page of questions. I think we can quick after those questions by Jace. We can probably go a bit faster on the other ones. So from Jace, Jess and Trips, your favorite differences or biggest differences between GMing or GM chat between the two leagues? Because Jess, you've not been GM in the SHL, but you're in HO. Both of you have spent some time in HO and GMing. See, I know things. And also, please make a list of words for JURT to say. Really enjoyed this unplanned bit during the awards ceremony. I have no idea what we're referring to, but please don't make a list of words for me to say and make fun of me.
We're not laughing at you.
No.
We're laughing out of affection.
I will say that many of those words are incredibly hard for native English speakers to say.
True.
And the last one I just sent you is one that starts fights everywhere it goes. So you just You don't have to read any of those words.
Oh, you actually prepared one? I hate you.
Well, as I read that as 5 minutes ago, I then thought up some words that I thought might be.
Oh boy.
All right.
You don't have to say them.
I'm gonna read them over a few times.
I'm gonna send the list of words in the chat.
Okay.
So everyone knows what we're actually.
Yeah, and then you guys can discuss the actual question while I'm reading them and trying to figure out.
Sure.
I think the first one is gonna be pretty. The first two are probably gonna be good. The other ones.
So, I miss JGM chat. I was there for the creation of the GM treehouse, and I'm glad to hear it still lives.
We just gonna put that out here. Also, sorry for taking a bite of pasta. I thought I was muted.
All right. Just overall, when I was a JGM, JGMs are just good people, and like I enjoyed working with them, even if I had disagreements with them. At the end of the day, I felt that there was a pretty high level of mutual respect and just generally liking each other.
Yeah.
And yeah. I've also been in HO on two drastically different eras. I was there for a good chunk of the nobody is J Commissioner era in JHO. And then I was, well, a couple seasons ago, spent some time in the NOR HO. They were very different eras, and I was a very different person all that time apart. Do you have anything to add, Jess?
I'm looking at the question. My favorite differences are like the ones that make me most angry, or the ones that make me glad I'm in both places.
I feel like it's just the biggest, like the easiest to see.
I mean, we do. I don't like being in SHL-GM chat. It's a different perspective when you're in there, like viewing it from the top down, and you kind of get the behind the scenes of like what everybody is thinking and what you know is going on with each team that the other teams may not know. And I do think that a lot of the complaints people have about SHL-GM chat being toxic or whatever, I think so much of it could just be solved by better communication. I think people don't talk to each other. I think we're all like, we've gotten to this point where no one trusts each other, where everyone thinks that everybody else is just looking to fuck them over. Some people are. I think some people just. I think it just goes back to communication. I think people just need to be better about communicating respectfully and in a way that they would want to be communicated with. And I think that goes a long way. And I think also we as JGMs have some leeway in some of the decisions that we make that SHL-GMs don't have. Like if you make a catastrophically bad decision as a JGM, that's not going to haunt you for 10 seasons or whatever. You know,
Yep.
We have like a short turnaround time there, and I think that lends itself well to people being able to take a more laid back approach to it and focusing on what I think is like the actual true purpose of the J, which is obviously user development.
Right,
And
exactly.
when you know that is your priority and you aim for that first, I think it's easy to have a good working relationship with everybody else, because we all we want to win, but at the end of the day we're JGMs because we like that specific work. I don't know anybody who's a JGM just because they're like, oh, I just need to pad my resume so I can be an SHL-GM someday. Like, we're all in it because we like this specific job.
Exactly.
And I like that. Whereas,
Agreed.
as an SHL-GM, I'm like, there's more pressure. Like, the decisions that you make have longer ramifications.
Right.
You know, the budget is so much more trouble to keep track of. like as a JGM budget is just basically don't do anything stupid and you won't fuck it up. Like don't throw $13 million at one player and you'll be fine. Like whereas, there's a lot more balancing that goes into it at the SHL level. So SHL GMs have a whole other like set of nonsense they have to balance. And I get why some of them are testy about it.
Yeah.
I just rambled for a lot of time, so
That's
sure.
good.
You want to talk about awards?
It gave me time to. I think it's gonna go over pretty well. We've got Phenomenon, Penguin.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip that one and come back at the end.
All right.
I think I know what the fourth one is. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I know in French it's...
Give it a shot.
I know it's French. In French it's anemone, so it's the same word, but it's probably pronounced anemone.
Kind of.
And Worcestershire. And the third one, I have no idea even what it means. And that TH sound is the worst for a French speaking person, but it's probably isthmus.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, yeah.
I have... What the hell does that even mean?
It's like isthmus, a land...
It's a narrow strip of land with sea on either side, forming a land bridge between two larger areas.
Okay, I did not... I just googled it and I have the French translation, and I did not know that word in French either.
One of the most famous isthmi, I don't know, is Panama, with the whole Panama Canal.
Mm-hmm. Today I learned. And
yes.
Also, I guess it's now going to be a requirement for everyone coming onto the podcast to bring a list of 5 words. Thanks, Jace.
Bring 5 words for everyone for sure to say.
The
emphasis in anemone just goes on a different
different
syllable. That's it.
Anemone.
Anemone.
Yes.
Anemone. Phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenon anemone.
I was setting that up. I was like...
all right, next question, because we've been going for almost an hour and a half now. JURT, how do you see the awards starting to stack up for this season already? Anybody standing out or underrated players you may see on the up and up? And shameless plug for give Zoltan an award. And I'm not awards head. So
You're not even on the awards committee.
I'm not even on the awards committee. I did host it on in a pinch. I just stepped up and...
Well, Jace just values your opinions. You don't have to be in charge of it for him to want your opinions.
I absolutely don't have an opinion. I've missed pretty much...
Not a single one. No thoughts. Head empty.
I mean, no. It's just on Homer Simpson in the movie, the monkey that's playing cymbals and doing flips. That's everything that's happening in my head at any time. But no, seriously, I missed most of the last week of Sims. I don't even know where my team is in the standings right now. I think Tyler Liam Slate is having a great season, so might be a good candidate for a few awards depending on how the rest of the season goes. And
I'll throw an intriguing one out there.
I think on my fantasy. Fuck! Now I fucked another word up. Fantasy?
That's a tricky word. You're good.
Fantasy.
Yes.
On my fantasy team, I have Arsène Leclerc, who might be a good candidate, I think, for the Bojo Biscuit Award.
Biscuit.
I decided I would say it like the French word, because biscuit is a French word. So yeah, and Trips, you had one as well.
I doubt this person's going to end up on my ballot, but I think an interesting one for top two-way forward is off Atlanta Salzburger Louis Hammerson. 22 goals, 39 points so far, and is in the top 5 for forwards on takeaways. Some decent blocks and hits, but no special teams time. So that's one that could end up being something. I doubt gonna win, but I'm just looking at the index right now to see.
So there you have an opinion from someone who's actually on the awards committee.
Yeah.
I am indeed. Unless Red fires me, which who knows?
That if he fires you, I fire him.
People are saying that Trips is very loud and needs to be either further away from the microphone.
Oh, I can just turn him down in my Discord volume.
Just a little tip from the Winnipeg locker room.
All right.
That's interesting because usually I'm
that's probably
way
too
too
low.
quiet. People tell me.
That was probably too low. I'm just gonna bring you back up here, and we're gonna try it this way. All right. Next question.
All right.
From Holtz fan, thoughts on this season? That's a vague question.
None at all. No thoughts.
No thoughts.
Yeah.
I never had any thoughts in my life.
Dad's popping off, and that's fun.
Yeah, I love seeing Dad.
David Arturi Donskoy.
Of course, Larry the MVP on Regina. I think it's a for Regina, it's an interesting season where we've had a lot of player aging up last season, but right now, despite 2 classes aging out at the same time at the end of this season, we'll have like a few inactives aging out, but no active players unless we get a surprise early call up.
You never know these days.
You never know these days, of course, but like even if there's like one surprise or two, they're gonna be our only call ups that are not inactives. So I think and we're still doing pretty good this season despite all the people aging before that S65. So I think it's a good we're hitting a bit, like we're not that deep in the standings while having a bit of a transitional season, and then that's such a big question. I could go about a lot of things, but that's pretty much it for us.
We have a really hard schedule this year. That's my complaint.
I'm gonna add Regina would be looking a lot better if I didn't fuck up my goalie swaps, because I knew I was going to be away for a while and not be able to swap goalies. And well, I just put it so In the Bag would finish the sim in net, so it would stay that way for a while. But
this is my biggest complaint about SHL GMs is when they're like, please finish the sim with this goalie in net. And like it's not even a swap for a game. It's just I would like this to be in here. I hate that.
And I mean I didn't do it this way too. I just put the last game I put against, I think it was Newfoundland, put in the bag, but that was not actually our last game of that sim. It was the first game of the other sim, and so we ended up having fucking cursed Connor McLavish in
Oh
net
no.
for I don't know how many games. He's terrible,
Oh
and
no.
I brought back Connor McLavish because this happened a lot in the first season of the Elk with Overdoing and Goomba, where Orbiting Death would not get starts because there would always be some mess up of that kind, and it was like the curse of Connor McLavish, and we got rid of him. And then I was like, oh, we need a now that Montaigne is back, is up in Winnipeg, and we have SO in net. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I brought back McLavish as our inactive backup? But then I fucked up again, and the curse.
Oh my god.
So I played myself, I guess.
Indeed, you did.
Speaking of cursed goalies, Mike Smith has given up 5 goals on 22 shots
Wait, what?
in this Colorado Edmonton game right now.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
So do you
His
guys?
save percentage is .773.
Ouch.
If we want to talk about cursed SHL goalies,
We
Luca
should-
Del Vecchio, that poor sucker.
I thought
FHM
you
hates
was.
goalies.
I thought you were gonna say Jerry Hooveri, but
No, like, since I've taken over as GM, consistently, for no explainable reason, Luca Del Vecchio is just constantly getting fucked by FHM.
Yep.
yep, that's
And Zune
that's FH.
Zune wants to just fight everyone, and I feel sorry for the guy.
I understand. Oh no.
All right.
It's now 6 goals.
We're gonna rapid fire the rest of the questions because it's been over
Cool.
an hour and a half now. So
Yes.
Tig asks, for Trips, as one of the OG Argonauts, who is your favorite head GM in franchise history?
That's a hard one,
Jeez,
but I'm
that's a
gonna go with Tiggy Smalls.
Mm-hmm. Good answer.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Corey asks Trips, how do you think you will compare to the best guess this show has ever had? Because the last guess was really remarkable.
Well, I'm the best guest they've ever had, so I think I compare very favorably to myself.
Ooh. I do love that we were able in a short time to have both of you. I think that's gonna blend in well with the next question, but to have both of you as our first 2 guests. Because Corey is asking, JURT and JESS, who was your favorite teammate not named Gunner or JURT? So basically we cannot name each other. On Chicago, remember, if you don't say me, I might cry.
I would say Corey, even if
I
he
would-
didn't threaten me with crying.
Yeah, I have to say Corey. There's a reason why Trips and Corey had to be the first 2 guests on the podcast. I think both played, like, in no particular order, but both played such an important part in just us. Well,
Like
I mean,
our journeys on the site.
yeah, our separate journeys and our journey together with the whole Gunner thing
Yeah.
was fueled by both of you as efficient for the wedding, or best man
Best
for the
man.
wedding, and now son,
Son.
adopted son.
Good old
Obviously,
Matt
shout out
to Matt Smith,
Matt
who we named
Smith.
our son after. Or who named himself after.
And Maddie, Nam, JNH. We've had a lot of great teammates in Chicago, but I'd have to say Corey.
Even if he didn't threaten us with crying.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Got a couple
following with two of those, actually, Nam is asking, when will we see an IRL JURT and JESS podcast?
I don't know what this means. Does he want video?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Do you want video, or do you want us to actually be in the same place? Cause,
I feel like he wants you in the same place.
yeah, I think that's the most logical.
We'll just have to. We can podcast from karaoke in Montreal. Everyone will enjoy it.
It's both of us in the same place is gonna happen in the next month. I don't know if podcast is gonna happen at the same time.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
We're gonna we shall see.
I still think JURT should get a new job and come live with me.
Patty, we love you too. Patty's sad now.
Patty's sad. Well, sorry, Patty. We do love you too, Patty. Next question from Nam again. What does the J League need more of?
Need more a parody.
Players.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm gonna stick with players, because there's an
I'm
actives.
sticking with parody.
There's an actives on. Well, it probably goes side by side if you get. More,
Does it though?
Well, if you get more actives, there's enough actives to fill everyone's roster, so everyone's roster is
Roster?
not.
Leave him alone.
I love it.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
I promise you, I'm not saying it out of actual
Malice.
mockery. Yep, it's endearing. Are we ready to kick the ball of soccer? Yes, we are. We're
yes.
gonna score all of the goals.
I'm gonna score none of the goals.
Yes, you are. We're gonna score all of the goals.
No, I'm a defense thing. I don't know how they're called in soccer.
I don't think you are.
I'm not
You're a midfielder like me, aren't you?
I'm a defensive. Like, I want to be in the middle and just take the ball from the defense.
I'm talking about this like I have any idea what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I literally just show up and earn my TP and do what Ham tells me to do.
I did like my whole idea for my my SSL player, who's next time I'm gonna have you pronounce my SSL player name, and we'll see who's laughing then.
Oh.
But Goat is like, he's meant to be like midfielder, but just take the ball when the defense defense, and we try to send it back up and just be the pivot for that transition towards the offense, but not actually do any offense. I leave that to Nam.
Yeah, same.
All right. And then we have GNH. I'm gonna start with the second one because I think it's pretty much already covered. Trips, was there anything about the move to SHL GMing that surprised you, or something that maybe stuck out as very different from JGMing? So that's, unless the way this one is phrased sparks another idea that.
I do have another idea.
Oh, okay, go ahead then.
It's incredibly hard not to fuck up. I prided myself on the 8-9 seasons I was a SMJHL GM that I didn't mess up and get punished even once. And now in a season and a half, there have been multiple double traded picks. Not necessarily by me. Well, I didn't know.
Of it was
doing the best I can, but it's just by me, but there was no way I would have known some of this shit. Like, it's so convoluted and such a mess. I don't know.
We just spent a considerable amount of time in the last few days in HO just talking about how much we hate conditions and how stupid conditions are and what a pain in the ass they are to keep track of.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, and they're not. I mean, the initial shit is just I'm picking up a mess that is making me question my sanity. So that's the main thing.
I believe in you.
But
see, I did not even realize you had been punished.
That's because we're trying not to do these things publicly because we don't want to feed the drama.
Well, the fun thing is,
I think some people have taken that to. People have thought that that means we haven't punished people. We've just done a lot of it more quietly.
No, it got published publicly, but people decided to dunk on Finn rather than talk about the actual punishment.
Yep.
Which I'm fine with.
We knew that was coming. Jace said that he was going to be the first person to go in there and yell about Finn being fired. But I posted it so late, I think people were asleep. That was strategic. No more conditions, Corey. Absolutely not.
You know, if you tell Corey to not do something...
That's true. Now Corey's just going to put conditions on all of his fucking trades just to spite me.
Yep. He's gonna...
Hey, Corey, should we try to put together a 20-team trade?
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Double up on the epic J trade.
I hope every single one of you gets punished.
Well, can you really punish every single GM?
Yes. We just won't have a third round.
That's okay. Be the best fourth round of all time.
Yeah, in PBE this season, we had literally like 2/3 of the league that were over the soft cap, and like we didn't pick until the third round. I think our first pick was supposed to be 37th overall, but because of all of the forfeited picks, we had literally the 27th actual selection. That's how many picks were forfeited for cap reasons.
Math is hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also like it's there. Like people are meant to use that. It's just you can't. You have to use up an asset to like if you want to go all in and spend a little bit more money and sacrifice a draft pick for it, you can. It's just a matter of balancing what you've got and what you're going to need in the future.
I see. And last question from JNH again. I think it could, it's addressed to all of us. What was the most ridiculous thing to happen during your time in Colorado, in the good, funny, or bad way?
So,
Not that long.
So, there's this one time where some people wanted to play D&D, and they talked me into DMing for the first time, and the game was bad, but it was all Colorado people, and I was running Lost Mines of Phandelver for them. And within the first session of a character being introduced, I one-shot immediately killed Esso's Birdman character.
And then what happened?
Keep going.
I don't want to finish that story. I was just leaving it there.
You do. You wouldn't have started it if you didn't want to.
No, I just want to tell from Max just because I think that there's a lot of ridiculousness that came from that D&D game. You know what? No, I don't want there to be an audio recording of me telling this story.
Okay.
So I'm not going to finish the rest of what happened. Suffice to say, Esso hasn't let me forget that I killed his character.
Mm-hmm. Killed.
Yeah.
No,
you're acting like it was the killing that was the problem.
That's what he brings up the most. I bring up the other part. He doesn't talk about the fried chicken situation.
Cold beer on a Friday night.
Oh boy.
All right.
Chicken fried, not a bird.
Finger licking
I
dead.
was gonna go with the ridiculous tantrum, that one of
Oh my god.
the
Oh my
players threw.
god! Oh gosh!
And
Wait, which one?
Oh god.
the one
I
that
assume you're talking about
the one
the
that's
fucking turtle got drafted before me.
Because we could also talk about the homophobic rant for not getting his way from the one and only Starface.
yeah, I was talking
Pardon?
about that one.
Oh my god.
That
And I
got
jumped
him
to where you jumped, Jess.
the
Wowee.
one that got banned from the locker room immediately.
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
That was just because, well, as far as what I gathered from it is his player wasn't good enough because he wasn't listening to people telling him how to build his player, and that didn't turn out well. And then it escalated in this ridiculous situation.
Where he started cheering for the team we were playing in the first round to sweep us.
What?
Fun times.
Alrighty.
But the one about oh my god, what was it? It was Sodakov.
Yeah,
Yes, that was the one that I thought of.
That was also ridiculous.
Nepotism.
Nepotism. Fucking
Oh,
nepotism. So yeah, those are both ridiculous. If you want to know more about the Sodakov one, you can probably do a little search on the forums for was it Fedor? I think it was Fedor Sodakov.
Yeah.
So
I was mad too because I made a
Oops.
mistake and it was one of my favorite SIGs I've ever made. I thought that one turned out really well, and then he was just like, "No, I'm outies."
I just woke up my upstairs neighbor.
Uh-oh.
oh.
Oops.
How? Where are they?
Talking loudly.
It's not even 9 p.m. there yet.
I don't know. I mean, he could work like...
That's true, but I don't think it's reasonable to expect your neighbors to be silent at 8 p.m.
Well, no, I was like... I mean, I do have a loud voice, so... He was like, he was carrying it right up into his room.
All right.
So,
we're
gonna
all
try
out
to
of
keep-
questions.
Yeah, but we have been streaming for like 2 hours now, so
We also
that's probably
have,
for the best.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a very short stream for us.
that's basically our post D&D conversations.
This
True.
is true.
So I guess we'll wrap this up unless any of you have anything else to add.
I want to know if you've watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi show yet.
Not yet.
All
I
right.
have.
I don't know how.
Also, hey Taddy. Hey
What?
Taddy. Hey Taddy. Ohio is the best Midwestern state. Fight me.
Oh. The state. The thing.
What?
We can just send
Oh.
it there.
The question about the state
Oh, okay.
The answer is Ohio.
for
Next question.
Patty. Ohio. You've heard it here first.
Ohio.
Ohio is the best Midwestern state, whatever Midwestern state is.
And the worst one we can all agree upon is Indiana.
I don't think I have a single thought about Indiana. Not one.
All my homies hate Indiana.
If you say Indiana, I'm 100% gonna think about Indiana Jones before the state.
Patty says it's not Midwestern, and I don't know if he's talking about Indiana or Ohio.
Whatever he's saying, he's wrong.
Oh,
Um.
it's okay, Patty. I will give you a juice box later to make up for that.
Well, I guess we're gonna need to have Patty on the podcast at some point
We should
to-
have Patty on the podcast.
to explain his point of view.
Explain yourself, Patrick.
But right now, we're gonna finish up on that thing. Thank you, Trips, for being here with us tonight. This was a lot of fun, as we all expected.
Indeed.
And
Right.
thanks everyone who's listening live. Thanks to anyone who's gonna be listening at some point in the future. We're gonna post soon for questions for the next podcast as soon as we figure out who the next guest is gonna be, because we are not good at planning that in advance.
Oh, we're so bad at planning.
And if you want to be on the podcast, I guess just
Talk to one of us.
talk to one of us, and we'll figure something out. Because I'm sure if you're listening, that's because you like us, and that means we probably like you, and we want to talk to you.
Maybe.
Probably, possibly. And well, to both of you guys, talk to you in less than 24 hours for our D&D
Alright.
game. And to everyone else, see you soon and have a great night.
Night, everybody.
Oh, what the fuck is... I hate this thing. I'm still alive.